concept that you're going to get, and you're going to kind of see it in the Sprite. But water will give you like a flat gradient, like a super smooth, dark to light. This is going to give you that same effect, but also give you those like atmospheric bubbles. So I'm going to do both of these because both of them have different effects, and also this one's clear so you can actually see how the acid is working. So you elevate your plate first.
Why is there sugar lift in the middle?
Because it's holding them. It's pushing them to the side.
Oh, okay.
It's my weight.
It's a prop.
Okay.
So both of them are elevated ever so slightly.
Okay.
And that's going to get me my creep. It's going to just like creep up the plate. And I have contact paper wrapped around them to kind of create like a trough, a little bath for them all, just to contain everything. And you just start pouring in the pop. And I don't normally go all the way to the top because this is a test plate. We can. And I'll do the Dr. Pepper too.
So that's just wax paper that you're using?
No, it's contact paper.
Oh.
So it's sticky on one side. So it's stuck to the back of my plate. And it's like a sticker.
Not moving.
It's usually what people cover their cupboards with.
Yes, no, I know what contact
So now you can
is.
see all of those bubbles in there just hanging out, and you can already see them popping.
That's Sprite.
That was Sprite, yes.
That's Sprite, and then this one's going to be Dr. Pepper. Nope. I mean, it can. It depends on how you want to do it.
Oh, right, because that part might be white.
The acid ideally won't ever touch the tip of the water.
Ferric. Mordant.
Ferric.
Not acid. Sorry, I needed to create
The
this.
mordant.
Mordant.
The mordant.
Thank you.
So I use a stopwatch, and I was taught to spritz in acid every 30 seconds. I usually eyeball it. But I always start the timer when I start just so I can get an idea of how long I've let the acid.
And so you could do this with water and it would create a
Yeah,
gradient.
it's going to creep faster with water, but you can already start to see that it starts to creep up the plate.
Oh, wow.
And you can see if you get in here, it's darker at the bottom and lighter at the top. That's going to translate fairly accurately.
Nice.
And that's just straight ferric.
Mm-hmm.
You always pour at the bottom.
Pour at the bottom because then it's going to creep up. Okay. And then I put in this one. The darker pops are a little harder to see, obviously, because the syrup.
Why does it creep up against gravity?
So it works the way that,
So it's lighter?
what is that term called? Water has a way of creeping.
Osmosis?
Oh, yes.
No, is it osmosis?
No,
So
but
you pour
water's
something
attracted to water.
Water is attracted. Also, water is a universal solvent, so it's going to eventually. This whole thing will be a mixture of the two, but it wants to mix, so it has to travel upwards to do that because the plates are at an elevated angle.
So ferric is enough like water that it wants to mix with water.
It's not necessarily water, but just the fact that it's a liquid and not an oil.
Okay.
So the ferric wants to blend and mix with the Sprite eventually, and at an angle it has to creep up. There's a word for it. Capillary action.
Yeah.
That's it.
Oh, nice.
You know when your pants get soaked and the water starts to kind of creep up?
Ah.
It just does that. The liquid wants to fill the volume.
It's when you make a marker creep up a wet paper towel. And
Exactly. Exactly.
So I have a question about the water. What was it? The water etch or bite?
Mhm.
So with the water bite, how is it different? What's different?
The only thing that's different is that it's water instead of pop.
Okay.
And there's
so
no
what is
bubbles.
the result? So it just
It's going to be
smooth-
exactly that same gradient, but it's not going to have
But
any
it won't
bubbles.
have
And I can
bubbles.
show you some examples of my work that
Okay.
has it when I'm done.
Okay.
But
How much is this propped up?
just ever so slightly.
Tiny bit. Okay.
With bigger plates, it's better to do less of an angle. Smaller plates, you can get away with higher angles. With bigger plates, you just have way more area you have to cover.
So like
if
the
it's too
slider
steep,
incline.
and if any plate is too steep, it's not going to creep. It's kind of like the gradients. The middle gradient is going to be way smaller. You're going to have more black, more white, and when it's lower, you're going to have a wider range of gradient.
And how long do you I suppose it depends on the size of your plate, but every 30 seconds you're introducing
Roughly,
this.
yeah, roughly.
And how many times do you do it?
It always really depends. It's usually I pour in more when I start to see it stop moving, and that kind of reactivates the movement. And then sometimes if I'm watching it, I'll do about 6 squirts and then let it sit until I reach like 9 minutes maybe.
Okay.
And you can get a pretty velvety, not a true black, because it will eventually, I do very light water bites, so they will eventually degrade over time. But you can get a pretty like good fade.
And so you said grand total of 9 or 10 minutes?
Roughly like 9 to 10 minutes. And you can already kind of see it says, and actually I love when it goes, when I have a hard water line at the top, you get like a really beautiful, it's like, and when the acid goes all the way to the top of that water line, you get a nice like soft hard line. It's really pretty.
So you said you add Fahrenheit like 6 times or something?
Roughly. It's all
Like every couple
experimental.
minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So since these are such small plates, I don't need to put too much acid in here, so this will probably be my last
But
draw.
it's not full strength. It's diluted.
It's getting
being
diluted.
Yeah.
So 9 to 10 minutes is enough. Huh.
Yeah. I'm just a
But
gentle
you do-
etcher. Yeah.
Just
Magenta etcher.
gentle etcher.
So yeah, when I'm printing my plates, normally like I've never had the problem where they start to degrade, but like after 20, I'm sure the aqua tint would just start to soften into like almost like an open bite. And I've had a couple plates that the aqua tint has degraded a little bit, and I really like it because it looks almost like a mercurial glass. So it just kind of looks like it's degrading
Yep.
or decaying. So we'll wait a little while.
What are we up to?
I can see that.
That's amazing.
So those bubbles that are sitting on there, you can even see actually the exposed plate inside
way
the bubble.
down. Yeah, look at the very bottom. See how
You can kind of see like little eyeballs.
Oh yeah.
Isn't that
So
awesome?
that's just
Wow.
the plate is being protected by the sugar bubbles.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Wow. That is cool.
So the bubbles look more prominent ultimately in the spray one.
Check number from I think.
Yeah, they're going to be a little bit more crisp and hard.
Mm.
Yeah, so at least like an inch on all sides. I mean the top side obviously. And
You
put in
just-
the gel.
Dump this down the sink.
Yep. Okay. Just like that.
Awesome.
You can kind of, yeah, you can see it really well on this one. Oh my god, it's so beautiful, and it's a surprise every time.
Yeah.
Oh, is that how you protected the back
Contact
of the
paper on
plate
that
too?
one.
Yeah.
Oh, so smart.
And then this is, I can tell already that this one was the root beer.
The
Or no,
red
wait.
pepper?
This one was the Sprite, and then this one was the root beer. So you can already tell that those bubbles are on there. And the root beers are a little bit more subtle and faded. So sorry, it's like that.
Oh wow. Cool.
And then when I print it, it's gonna be super beautiful.
And so you just like when you do images on there, you just sort of burnish out that place where you're gonna do a line
No,
etch?
but I do all the line etches first.
Oh, I see.
And
And
then I
then you
stop
stop
out
it
the
out.
fingers.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
right. You're just for
Yeah.
demo purposes.
This
You're
is usually the last thing I do.
okay.
And actually, I think for these plates, what I'm gonna do is stop out a silhouette of a person, and then stop out the background and leave like the silhouette of a person exposed, and then open bite it
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
to get rid of
The bubbles.
some of the
Yeah.
bubbles.
Yeah, got it.
Yeah.
So how long would you etch it if you were doing that? Would you just 10 minutes, whatever, 20 minutes to open bite it?
This is
what's
super
your-
shallow, so this wouldn't take, but I would probably do it as long as a line edge, just 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
For something this shallow.
Okay.
I would probably say forever how long as deep as your deepest point.
Whatever your.
If you did an etch that's exposed that's an hour long, then I would probably do an hour long etch to get rid of it.